Because I have a second of 5 guests in this afternoon, and this charming young lady's name is Holly Johnston, also from the University of the West of Scotland.
Yes, I'm now doing my songwriting masters.
Great. So how long does the course take?
Well, you can either do it in a year, or you can take a little bit longer, have the summer off, going around doing festivals and things like that, and then you finish the following Christmas.
Uh-huh.
I haven't quite decided yet. It depends how hard I work and how much I want to go to the festivals.
Yeah, well, yes, it must be a difficult wee balance to make. What did you do your undergrad on?
My undergrad was actually in psychology. So
now that's one I didn't expect.
No, people don't really. I think because it's a master's in music, people assume you did your undergraduate in music as well. But no, I'm not really a psychologist. I did psychology.
Yes, I've met quite a number of people who did psychology, or even are psychologists, and I've managed to stop doing that suddenly being guarded with everything you say phase.
Yeah.
And folks immediately think I'm being psychoanalysed.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, okay, no, we got your word for that. But let's have a listen to Holly Johnston, and then we'll get to learn a little more about you. So this first track?
The first track is called Read Me a Story, and it's effectively my biography fit into 3 verses, a chorus and a bridge. So I'll be living a bit more from now on.
Yeah, you'll probably write a few more verses to fill in the gaps. Okay, thank you. Read Me a Story by Holly Johnston.
Went on filling their home, all born and raised on an avenue street. Ordinary brothers and sisters you'd meet. Read me a story and kiss me goodnight. Tell me you love me and put out the light. Brothers and sisters with night at the same, each told a story tucked in by name. Read me a story, kiss me
And that was Read Me a Story there by Holly Johnston, who is with me in the studio. That was lovely, Holly. Now, I'm still frantically trying to think about who your voice reminds me of, but it's probably not going to come till about 3 o'clock in the morning, but there's somebody you very much remind me of. Would you say there was a sort of wee bit of a sort of country Americana influence in your music at all?
There's a bit of a mix of everything. I was brought up on lots of different types of music, but mainly I was brought up on live music. So I'm one of 4 kids, and we used to get taken to the folk clubs and to pubs, sometimes in our pyjamas, where we'd just listen to the music and we'd sleep wherever we would drop, get bundled back into the car and taken away again.
I've never met your parents, but I would like them. There's no doubt about that. That was absolutely great. So can you remember what's the acts that maybe made a really big impact in those early days?
Well, I was brought up very much knowing songs without knowing who they were by. So they were done live and they were interpretations. And then I'd sing the songs in the folk clubs that I'd learnt from other people, so not from CDs. But then the first CD I got for my 11th birthday was Richard and Linda Thompson's Bright Lights. And I realised that I was singing practically every track from this album in its order at the folk clubs. So a bit silly, but
Your parents definitely had taste. So time travels on, and you decide that you're going to be studying psychology. So do music, sort of performances, etc., stop then, or did it still continue?
No, music has always been a sideline for me. So through my studies, through working full-time, and I worked full-time whilst I did my degree as well, I was still doing my albums and performing live and writing. So it was always a big mixture, which meant that in my songs, I had a mixture of all of my life experiences plus everything I was reading. So they're a bit of a mishmash of lots of different ideas, really, but it all comes out in the music.
Okay, well, let's listen to another mishmash then.
A mishmash.
It's a mishmash. Just could you tell me the next song, Just Like That, is what's mished and mashed in there?
Just Like That was written at a point when I really changed direction in my life. I changed my job, I finished my degree, I got out of a relationship, and it's about how you can almost be in a trance and your life falls apart around you and you don't even notice.
Okay, sounds serious.
Spiraling out of
And that was Just Like That by Holly Johnston, who is with me in the studio just now. Holly, what a production. Now, I love the song, but that was, what a production.
Beautiful cello. I've got a wonderful cello player called Belinda, who just layered loads of different cellos on top of each other and made it sound absolutely beautiful.
And was it choir sound in the background? Was that you as well?
That's just me layering different vocals on top of each other, and then add a bit of reverb and you've got a choir.
I see.
A cheap choir.
Right. Okay. So, we've covered earlier on what the, that you're singing Richard and Linda Thompson songs at folk clubs, etc. Somewhere along the way, you started writing your own. What happened along here? Well, just what sort of happened to make you cause you to do that?
Well, I don't ever remember not writing songs, to be honest. One of my early memories is I used to have this little tape player. It was a little brown Fisher-Price tape player that you press record, and I'd get blank tapes for Christmas and birthday every year. And I would just sing as I was playing. So I remember I wrote a song when I was very, very young about a witch, and she had a black cat and she had a broom. And that came out in my songwriting. And then more recently I found a tape with all of these songs from when I was a child, kind of showing all of my different play.
Okay, right. That's absolutely great. So you wrote one about a witch, but how did things go a wee bit sort of longer after that? I mean,
well, I always wrote, and then I got my first job in Woolworths and saved enough money to buy myself a keyboard, and from there I learnt a few chords on the piano and managed to accompany myself singing. And I just happened to be in a band just with some mates, and we recorded a demo of other people's songs. And the person who recorded us said to me, well, do you write anything? Because he liked my voice recorded. And I said, well, I do, but I don't play them to anybody. Played him some of my songs, and I was 15 at the time. And he said, right, let's make an album. And that's how I made my first album on Backwater Records down in Suffolk. And I've been with them for 15 years.
Okay, we'll get on to your matter of your recordings and your albums after this next song, which is entitled?
It's The Mask I Wore. This is more of an acoustic song.
Okie doke, let's give it a listen.
Searching for a reason to stay among the clouds, no silver lining has threatened to appear. New Year's resolution, don't let the doubts get near, but they've gotten near in the form of you. Past just got the better of me. Memories can still control me. You were there, reminded me that I will always be the person you adored until you got to know me. And there will always be someone to run to when I show signs of weakness. It seems you only loved me for the mask I wore. I should have shown you sooner what you'd fallen for. It wasn't me. I was scared to show you what I knew could never be a shining trophy. mask I wore. I should have shown them sooner what they'd fallen for. It wasn't me, so I'm searching.
And that was A Mask I Wore by Holly Johnston, who's with me today. Right, that was absolutely beautiful. And you sound even more like the person that I can't remember who it is in that particular song.
Yeah.
Now, I'm still trying to sort of trace how the songwriting sort of really grew up. Because, I mean, they're very mature songs now. Do you think your songwriting has seriously developed over the years?
I think it has changed. I think your perspective changes as you get older. I mean, my first album came out when I was 15, so the songs, although they said they were mature, they were a kind of naive maturity, and quite, you'd expect the chord changes in the first album. And then the 2 EPs after that, I think you could track my development from the second to the third CD that came out.
Okay, let's talk about your CDs. So how many do you have out? How many of the people are looking for recordings of yours?
Well, the first album was called Voices in My Head, so that came out when I was 15. The next EP is completely sold out, so there's no point even talking about that. And then
that's good. The fact that it's completely sold out, that's enough to say.
Yeah, and then there was an EP called Send Me an Angel that came out after that. There's a few of those left. And then there was a 9-year gap whilst I worked full-time and did my degree. So the next album, East Anglian Girl, which came out last January, is 9 years' worth of songs, and the best ones chosen from 9 years. So that's probably where the leap happened.
That is, 9 years is quite a long time.
Yes.
Particularly at your young years. Time passes very quickly for me now, but never mind. That is quite a gap. I mean, I think, you do get, some of the professional singer-songwriters. One of my favourites is Janice Ian.
Yeah.
But she actually just went completely silent for somewhere about 16 years before she suddenly made a comeback in the early 90s.
I think you then kind of get to marinate a little bit, and then the stuff that comes out is extra juicy in your CDs. But there's only a year and a half. I pretty much finished the next album over Christmas, and that will hopefully come out in the summer. But that might be a bit optimistic since I'm in Scotland and everyone else is in Suffolk.
No, I think one of the things that a lot of the singer-songwriters of the older generation will envy your generation for is that since the compact disc, let alone downloading, etc. I mean, you have been able to get your own music out there, and without the interference of the men in suits, you'll be able to keep your artistic integrity so much more.
Well, I think I'm very lucky, actually, because my producer, Steve Mann, always says to me that I can go in whatever direction I want to go in, and that he'll support me on that.
Okay, so in condition to find out more about you, find out developments, you have a webpage or anything?
I've got a blog that has links to everything that I do, which is swansongbird.blogspot.co.uk.
Now you got that. We better say that again in case there's some folks trying to scribble it down.
So the blog is www.swansongbird.blogspot.co.uk.
Okay.
Or if it's easier, just go to the Backwater Records website, which
Backwater Records.
is backwaterrecords.com.
That's easier.
That is easier.
That's easier, much easier to remember.
And there's a link, and you can get all of my stuff from there as well.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we'll play one last song from you, which is...
This is Water Lilies, a little bit more upbeat. I kind of experimented a bit more with different musicians for this song, so a little bit different from the other stuff.
Okay, well, that'll be just that'll be the end of the interview then. So thank you very, very much for coming. Sorry for having you on the wrong mic for a while, but it's been a great pleasure talking to you, and thank you very much for coming into Celtic Music Radio, and best luck with your degree, and best luck with your musical career.
Thanks, Bill.
You're very welcome. Water Lilies. was Water Lilies by the guest who has just left, Holly Johnston.